Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. This is going to be another games recently completed video. This is, I believe, the 26th of July 2017, and I've actually accumulated quite a few games since the last video like this. Especially with PS2 games, I've kind of been feeling a little bit more like in the mood to play like PS2 games. I don't know, sometimes I get like that, I just feel a little bit burnt out of like PS3 and PS4 games. It's kinda, for me it's like really refreshing to go back and play like PS1 and PS2 games. Games that don't require, patches, games that don't have like locked content on disc, where you have to go to a store and download and, buy that content basically. For me it's really refreshing, you get the full game on disc, I think I got like that last year as well, which I just went through a phase of just playing PS1 and PS2 games. For me it's really refreshing. So yeah, like I say, quite a lot of PS2 games here. No PS1 games, but yeah, a lot of PS2 games. So anyway guys, yeah, let's get on with this, shall we? Something weird happened as well. I actually started making this video and then it came up recording error. And it went off and basically went to the file and that blooming file's corrupted, it's out of here, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I hope that's not the start of my phone camera packing in. But yeah, corrupted file. I've never actually had that with this phone. Really bloody strange. So hopefully that's not a bad sign. I might like make 4 separate recordings and like put them together just in case it stops again. I don't want to get blooming like, I don't know, 15 minutes into a video and then the whole blooming thing corrupts, That would be bloody annoying. So anyway guys, let's get on with the first game, shall we? And it is Crash Tag Team Racing on the PS2. Best Crash game ever. Yeah, right. Very misleading there. Definitely not the best Crash game of all time. But to be honest guys, I had quite a lot of fun playing this game. I actually think this game's pretty damn decent, I had no intention of playing this. I just remember one morning waking up and just thinking I want to play a racing game. So I went from a drawer looking at all these racing games and I picked this up and I just thought, why not, let's give it a spin. And I ended up completing it in 3 settings. Like I said, I thought this game was, pretty damn fun. Just don't compare it to Crash Team Racing on the PS1. That game's just absolutely tremendous. But if you look past that, stop comparing it to that game. Think of it as a game on its own. It's actually a pretty damn decent game, I feel. I had a lot of fun with this game. The back crash is kind of stretched. It's been on a blooming stretchy machine there. But yeah, there's quite a lot of characters in this that I don't recognise. Maybe they were in like some of the other PS2 games. I've not really played any of the Crash games on the PS2. I played Wrath of Cortex. Played through that. I've got Mind Over Mutant, but I've not put much time into that game. I hear that game's pretty damn garbage, but I thought Wrath of Cortex was alright. So it's got Crunch in this from Wrath of Cortex, who's, he's a decent enough character. Crunch Bandicoot is a good guy in this. You've got Cortex's Cortex's sister, Nina, I think it was, Nina Cortex. Not a huge fan of her. I think she was in Mind Over Mutant, I think. She might have been in Twin Sanity as well, I can't really remember. But you've got Pasenda Possum, who's like a female possum character. She's got a Texas accent. Howdy partner. So I believe that's Texas, so... And I thought she was a decent enough character. You've got this guy here, the Bean Soldier guy, Von Clutch. The German guy, he's actually pretty damn funny, I really like him. I usually like German guys in general. I think Germans are quite funny. They've always got that, funny accent, funny way of pronouncing words. Instead of pronouncing words with a W, they say V instead, So it's not worth it, I don't know, I just think German accents are really bloody funny. So yeah, I like Von Clutch, he was a good character. Yeah, the racing themselves, I feel like it relies, a bit too much on the whole, tag team aspect. You've got to like, team up with people and, basically they shoot and you can drive, or you can shoot and they can drive. It's kind of easy. I would say this game's really bloody easy in that way. All you need to do is just, team up with, one of the characters. during the race, and you know you're set basically. It's pretty damn easy. Probably like one of the easiest, you know, cartoony racing games I've played. But like I say, I did still enjoy the game. I played through the game. I didn't unlock every single thing in the game. I didn't unlock all the vehicles or anything like that. But I didn't really do too many of the like side stuff. But overall, I did think this was a good game, guys. I would recommend it if you like kart racers. It's definitely worth a go. So yeah, I enjoyed this one. Surprisingly, you know. Definitely a surprise. Next game we have here, guys, is Driver Parallel Lines. Which was a game at first, guys, I was kind of like, you know, this game's alright. You know, just alright. But as this game went on, this game really started to grow on me. I thought this game in the end was really, really good. And especially like the new era. You know, you start off the game in 1978, and then later on you play the game in 2006. For me, the 2006 parts are better than the older parts, in my opinion. You get different music for different eras, different cars for different eras. But yeah, I thought this game was really, really good. It had an interesting story, interesting characters. A really, really memorable, you know, mission for me was when you get drugged and you've got to chase after this guy while you're drugged, and this song's playing, Addicted to Speed, and like the screen starts to get really, really blurry the longer you're basically chasing this guy. What an excellent mission. What a really, really, you know, memorable mission. You know, easily like my favourite mission in the game probably. It was kind of difficult to see where you were going because obviously your character was drugged. And like, everything was all blurry. You were kind of like, whoa. You know, it was really woman strange. It was kind of like you were drugged yourself, or, you know, or really drunk, one of the two. You know, so it was bloody excellent. Really, really good mission. And yeah, just like I said, the gameplay was pretty damn good. For me, the only thing I didn't really like too much was I did feel like you had to drive quite a lot to get to your missions. You know, for me that was kind of, you know, a little bit of a put off. Another thing I wasn't really a big fan of was the women points in this game were so woman savage, I tell you. You could do just a little bit of speeding and they'd be on your tail and there'd be women shooting your car just for doing a little bit of speeding. I mean, savage or what? You know? I mean, fair enough if you run people over, like massacre a load of people. But no, just a little bit of speeding and they start shooting your woman car. I mean, come on. Woman crazy. So really strict police. You have to really be careful when you're driving, not to like, you know, not to speed when the cops are around and stuff. You know, there'll be women shooting you. But overall, guys, yeah, really good game. Really enjoyed this game. A lot of people say this is like the last of the good driver games. I would disagree. I did like Driver San Francisco on the PS3. I did think that game was really, really good. But yeah, it's definitely up there. I'd probably say my favourites are probably Driver 2 is easily my favourite. Then San Francisco, then this, then Driver 1, then Driver 3. Driver 3 is like miles behind. You know, I'm not a big fan of Driver 3. Controls are really awkward in that game. But yeah, really good game, guys. Really enjoyed this one. Definitely worth a playthrough if you like driving and shooting games. And another PS2 game I completed was Onimusha 3. Another absolutely fantastic game. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, the Onimusha series, I've not really played it too much. I've played the first game, Onimusha Warlords, like maybe 3 years ago. And quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a, you know, pretty damn good game. It's had like, you know, the Resident Evil style camera angles. And it was a hack and slash game. We hack and slash your way through like demons and that. It was kind of like samurai stuff. I've not got the second game, and I've been wanting to play the third game for such a long time, and I finally got around to playing it. And I've got to say this game was really, really good. Overall, I would say it was an improvement on the original game. You basically play as 2 different characters in this, or 3 actually. Yep, 3 characters. I forgot about Michelle. Yeah, you play Samanusuke, you play Jacques, that guy there. My personal favourite Onimusha character. Really, really like his character. The French dude. And his girlfriend, or wife, think it's his girlfriend actually, Michelle. Not a big fan of playing as Michelle because you've got a gun and you have to shoot things. For me, I don't know, I didn't really like her sections too much. I definitely prefer playing as Seminusuke and Jack. You can slash things to death rather than shoot things. I just feel like the sword playing that works a lot better than the guns in this. But yeah, really good game, guys. Some of the boss fights in this were really bloody tough as well. As well as just some of the normal sections I thought were quite tough. Not to mention boss fights. I don't know, maybe I suck at this game, but I did think this game was more difficult than the original game. But not over the top difficult. It was just a little bit challenging at times, which I kind of appreciate. I don't like a game that's too easy, and I don't like a game that's too hard either. So I did feel like this game did have the it had the right difficulty. Nothing too hard, but nothing too easy either. The characters and story in this game I thought were really good. Especially the characters. I did like the interaction between Jack and Seminusuke. And you've got like a little fairy following you around, Aiko, I believe she's called. She's like a little fairy, she's always following your character around. I kind of thought at the beginning she was going to be a little bit annoying, but I actually thought she was quite warm and funny. She definitely had some, entertaining dialogue. Because I thought overall she was pretty damn funny. So yeah, characters definitely, a big thing in this game. Definitely worked well. One thing I didn't really like too much is I did feel it was a lot of jumping around. Because some things you can only access as Seminusuke, some things you can only access as Jack. So you're constantly switching characters. There's one place you get this tower thing, and you're constantly switching characters all the time. It did get a little bit annoying. I don't mind switching characters every now and again, but I did feel like they did kind of overdo it in places. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this was still a really, really good game. Solid gameplay, really, really fun stuff. And yeah, definitely a game I'd recommend. Definitely a game I want to play through again at some point. Because this game was fantastic. Really, really good game. Okay, so we'll take a break from PS2 games, and I'm actually going to pause the video in case, or stop recording this in case it corrupts or something. Okay, back with part 2 now, and we'll go on to a PS3 game. Now this is a game from a series that I want to play through all the games. Last year I played through the first game in this series, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I went into this with pretty high expectations, and I've got to say it was pretty damn good game. Nowhere near as good as the first game in my opinion, but still a good game overall. And it was Batman Arkham City on the PS3. So I played through Arkham Asylum last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the location. I loved the characters, I loved the gameplay, everything about the game was just really, really good. So I went into this with quite high expectations, and it didn't let me down. I did think this was still a really, really good game. Just, in my opinion, just nowhere near as good as Arkham Asylum. But that's not taking anything away from this game, because Arkham Asylum was just that damn good. But it was difficult to beat. But I did love in Arkham City how it was, you're in Arkham City, it was like a big, open world, a lot of exploring you could do. So, I did appreciate that, aspect of it. It was really cool to see, Batman just gliding around Arkham City. It was bloody awesome, actually. I loved the characters again, as always. You've got, obviously, Harley Quinn, Joker, and you've got a Penguin in this, who I actually think is a really, really good villain. I've never seen any of the films, so I'm guessing Penguin's in some of the films, I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm not really a big movie person, so I've never seen a Batman film. I probably should at some point. But I love Penguin. This Penguin's a really, really good villain. And definitely enjoyed his section. I loved it, the museum. The museum bit was just absolutely fantastic. The fight with that shark, it was bloody cool actually. I really liked that part. That was really unexpected. And definitely a really, really memorable section. But anyway, what can I say, guys? It's a great game. I'd like to go a bit more in depth, but I completed this like a month ago, so I've forgotten quite a lot about the game. So I'm not really going too in depth. But overall, guys, still a really, really good game. Really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to going on to Arkham Origins. And by the time I play through that, maybe Arkham Knight will have dropped in price to like £5 or something on PS4. Because that's about, you can get it like £8 or £9 now that game's dropping in price quite quickly. So yeah, definitely looking forward to playing more of these games. Really good game. And well, we're at it, I might as well just go on to the last PS3 game, and we have Remember Me. Which was a game that, you know, it interested me back in the day. Like when I first got it, it looked kind of interesting, but it took me such a long time to actually get round to, you know, playing through the game. And overall, I've got to say it's very mediocre. I really wanted to enjoy this game. I did enjoy it a little bit at first, but I did feel like the game does get really repetitive. It does like too much of the same thing. It doesn't really change up too much. So for me, it just gets a little bit boring. Not saying it's a terrible game, but definitely not saying it's an amazing game either. I think it's just very mediocre. It's like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's just nothing special. Probably 5 out of 10, to be honest. Yeah, the game relies on combos. You like create your own combos, and yeah, it's an interesting concept, but I just didn't really get it too much. The story for me wasn't anything like too impressive. There's like a few parts in the game where the game kind of expects you to kind of like feel sorry for the character, but for me, I don't know. I just couldn't get into the characters and story enough to, you know, really give a damn. You know, sorry to sound so cold, but yeah, I just didn't really get into it too much. The enemy designs were okay. They're kind of like zombified kind of guys. You can like punch them and stuff. It's kind of like a beat 'em up platformer kind of game. But yeah, it's just too repetitive. You know, just doing too much of the same thing throughout the whole game. And yeah, just not really interesting. There's a few parts in the game where you have to like alter people's memories to make them forget certain things. And again, interesting idea, but for me, it just wasn't really, you know, interesting. I did feel it was kind of irritating as well. Just for me, it just didn't work too well. You know, you have to like keep rewinding and like fast forwarding this video to try and like alter people's memories at the right point. Otherwise, you would fail and have to do it again. And I don't know. I'd say it's just a really average game. Interesting idea, but for me, nothing special. You know, it's a very average game. It's a little thing for you guys. If you played this game, let me know what you think. I don't really like hear too many people that have played this game or played through the game, but I would definitely like to hear what you guys think. I just think it's really repetitive and just not that interesting. Sorry. Not really a game I think I'll play through again. Just too boring. Next we go on to a single Xbox 360 game that I've played through, and it is Crackdown. So yeah, Crackdown, for me, pretty average, to be honest. I liked it more at the beginning, because, you know, I think when I first played it for like 2 or 3 hours in one session. And yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable, but for me, as the game goes on, it just feels like the same thing over and over again. It doesn't really change up too much. Basically, you're just taking out the leaders of these gangs, and you know, while you're taking them out, enemies respawn and stuff. It's really bloody annoying at times, you know. You know, some enemies are really difficult to take out just for the amount of enemies that come at you and keep respawning and stuff. But for like I say, for me, it doesn't really change too much, you know, apart from like your skills increase, like you can do more damage with your guns, you can take more damage, you can jump higher. But apart from that, the game doesn't really change up too much. I just think it just gets, you know, it gets really repetitive. You know, I'm definitely happy to have got it, I'm definitely happy to have played for it. You know, because I want to get as many games on Xbox as possible, but I can't get for the PlayStation, you know. So, yeah, it's definitely a good game to have. I'll probably get the second game at some point if I see it cheap. But yeah, for me, it's just a bit repetitive, you know. It's my least favourite Xbox game so far. I've only played 3, you know, Gears of War 1, Forza Motorsport 3, and this one. That's the only 3 games I've played. And this is my least favourite so far, but it's still a decent enough game if you want to pick up and play something for like an hour. But I just couldn't play it for a long time in the end. I just think it got really repetitive. But overall, I'd say it's decent, but nothing mind-blowing, nothing I can play for a long time. Still better than that game though. Remember me fans, gonna be pissed. Anyway. Okay guys, so I got an interruption, and when I went back to continue the video, it was just really blooming dark in here. So I couldn't be bothered with it. I'm just recording this about 4 days later. You'll notice changing clothes and things. So yeah, bloody interruptions, man, pain in the backside. So yeah, we've got the last 3 PS2 games here, and this one was a game I wanted to complete for quite a while. I remember playing this back in the day. I just got really lost in this game. I didn't have a blooming clue where I was going. I gave up, to be honest. And it was a Spyro, A Hero's Tale. So yeah, I really loved the Spyro games on the PS1. Obviously wanted to get a PS2 game. This was the first PS2 Spyro game I got. And like I say, I just got real lost in the game, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. I gave up. I never went back to it. So I'm glad I finally went back to it and played for it. I definitely see how I got lost in this game. This game, it feels a bit more confusing to other Spyro games. I mean, when you play like the other Spyro games, you're in like a home world, and you go into these different worlds. Where in this game it's like 4 different home worlds, but it's like an open world kind of thing. You don't go into like separate worlds and that. For me, that just, I don't know, I don't really like that too much. For me, that just doesn't feel like Spyro. It's kind of like an open world Crash Bandicoot game. For me, it just wouldn't feel right. I like to go into like separate worlds and that. Each world's separate. I don't want to be like in like 4 or 5 different like home worlds. Yeah, an open world Spyro game for me just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. The mini games for me were really boring. I didn't like them at all. I loved the mini games in like Spyro 3. The majority of the mini games are really enjoyable. I've not played Spyro 2, but I'm guessing the mini games in that are quite good as well. So a lot of people consider Spyro 2 to be their favourite Spyro game. I just never got around to playing that. But yeah, the mini games and just boring in this. The flying levels with Sergeant Burr just feel really awkward. There's the mole, I can't remember his bloody name. Blink, yeah, Blink. Really boring. I didn't like playing as him at all. Hunter. Hunter sections weren't too bad, to be honest. Just felt like Spyro, but he had a bow and arrow. So yeah, Hunters weren't too bad. Sparks, like flying missions, you have to avoid enemies and that. It was alright. Again, a lot better than playing as Sergeant Bird or the Mole. As for playing as Spyro himself, it's not too bad. Just it feels a bit strange at first until you get used to it. Obviously, it controls a lot differently to the PS1 games. But yeah, once you get used to it, it doesn't really control too bad. Again, I'm not really a big fan of them having different breath. The fire breath, flame, the bubble breath, electric breath. He should just have a flame breath, shouldn't he? I don't really feel the need for all the different kinds of breaths. For me, it's just a bit strange. He's a dragon of many different types. But yeah, like I said, once you get used to the way Spyro controls, it's not too bad. It's so easy to get lost. There's a lot of backtracking and stuff. For me, it was a bit annoying. Definitely glad to have played through it. The boss fights weren't anything special. Pretty easy apart. The final boss, I would say, was, I'd say semi-difficult, but yeah, I thought the other bosses were pretty damn easy. You get checkpoints through the boss fight, so that makes it a lot easier as well. So yeah, I would probably say I might even prefer Enter the Dragonfly, not Broken Dragonfly. Enter the Dragonfly. I think I would prefer that, which I don't really know if that's a popular thing, because I know the loading times in that game were awful. The frame rate was quite bad. It was really glitchy. I didn't think this one was too glitchy. I had a few, glitches in that every now and again, but it did feel, a lot smoother than Enter the Dragonfly. But for me, Enter the Dragonfly had different worlds. It felt a little bit more like, the PS1 games where you go into different worlds. So, and the soundtrack, I would say I prefer the soundtrack in Enter the Dragonfly as well. Soundtrack in this was pretty meh. There's no tunes in this game that I'm going to go back and listen to. I mean, kind of fit the game, I guess, but I don't know. For me, the soundtrack wasn't anything, special. So yeah, fell into the Dragonfly. I don't know if it's a popular choice, but yeah, I'm still saying it's a decent game, but again, nothing special. It's got too many things that annoy me. And that woman camera keeps slipping as well. That's kinda annoying. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So yeah, we got into the last two PS2 games now, and it's from the same series. Now, I made games I wanted to complete in 2016. These were actually on the list of Footloose 2005, but I never actually got around to playing them. And I really wanted to, but I just had like so many other games I wanted to play as well. So I finally got around to playing through them this year. I've got to say, these games are really, really good. Really like these games. Get on with it, guys. It's first one is Maxima, which is basically Ghouls and Ghosts, but in 3D. If you remember Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Really good games in my opinion, especially Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Didn't really get into Ghosts and Goblins too much. It felt a bit, I don't know, it felt a bit average. To be honest, not saying it's a bad game, it just felt a bit average. The controls and that didn't feel as smooth as Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. But yeah, definitely wanted to play this since it was supposed to be a 3D version of it. Obviously by Capcom as well. Yeah, this game, really good stuff. Pretty damn difficult, as you'd probably expect if you played, the Ghouls and Ghosts games, because they're pretty damn challenging. They were, arcade games after all. But yeah, this is just really good, I kinda, the character Maxima in this game didn't really have too much of a character. We definitely improved it in the other game, which I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, gameplay, even though it does feel a little bit basic in this game, it was a lot of fun, I did like the environment. You start off the game in a graveyard. Just feels like Ghouls and Ghosts, The soundtrack's kinda, at the beginning it's kinda like Ghouls and Ghosts. It's kinda like a bit of a remix of the first level of Ghouls and Ghosts. So yeah, the game just has a lot of charm to it. I really like this game. It's brutal. You've got coins. It costs you blooming coins to save your game, which is really blooming brutal. So you have to kind of save up your coins. You can't keep spending it on weapons, or you're not going to be able to blooming save your progress. And basically get a limited amount of continues, which you can get continues as the game goes on. I think you have to collect 10 of these, not 10, 100 of these firefly things, and that gets you an extra continue. And I was alright, using continues and that. But then you get to a stage where you have to use 2 continues just to get a continue. It's like, oh my god. And then you keep doing that, and then you have to use 3 continues just to get 1 continue. This game gets bumming brutal. The more times you have to use continues, the more continues it's going to cost you. Woman, savage game. So a good thing to do in this game is definitely go back to levels you think are quite easy, because there's a few levels that I didn't really struggle too much with, especially when I got to the swamp area. I thought there was a couple of swamp area levels that weren't actually too difficult. So I did do a little bit of grinding to get some extra lives and some continues and stuff. So I can say this game got really difficult, especially the last 2 worlds. Really tough. I would say the boss fights are quite easy. You just have to figure out how to kill them, and once you figure them out, they're not really that difficult. So that's a bit of a relief. But yeah, Maxima, really good game, guys. Like I say, combat pretty basic, but overall, a lot of fun in this game. I would say the combat's not really the hard part. Some of the platforming's really difficult. You've got to be really precise. Otherwise, it'll just be an instant death. You'll fall into a pit and die. But yeah, really good game, guys. I really like this. Cool visuals, cool soundtrack, level design's excellent. Yeah, Maxima, really good game. And that brings us on to Maxima Army of Zen. In my opinion, big improvement over the first Maxima game. The combat feels, it's a lot more smoother. There's combos and that you could do, so there's a little bit more to do as far as the fighting goes. And in my opinion, a lot easier. There was a couple of hard sections, but nowhere near as difficult as the first game. I think, they maybe thought, Maxima 1 was a bit too hard, for casual gamers and stuff. So they made it a little bit easier. I mean, in this game you don't have to use coins to save your game. So basically you can use coins to buy lives, use coins to buy upgrades to your weapons and things. So yeah, it's definitely a lot easier in that regard, which, you know, I definitely welcome. You know, I did like the challenge in Maxima 1. I did feel it was, even though it was quite tough at times, it was still quite, you know, it was a welcoming challenge. But again, I'm not really one for, like, you know, huge challenges. I mean, I could probably never play like Dead Souls or anything like that, or Demon Souls. Those games just frustrate the hell out of me. But yeah, like I say, a lot easier, definitely more welcoming to, you know, people who don't really like, you know, too difficult a game. So yeah, overall I do prefer this game. You know, I do think the combat's definitely improved. I think Maxima's got a little bit more of personality. And yeah, just think the boss fights in this game are really well done. Really like the design, a little bit more challenging than Maxima 1 as far as the boss fights go. It's the only thing that's more challenging in this game, I would say. But yeah, Maxima, what can I say, guys? I just really recommend these games. If you like games like, say, Medieval, or even like Devil May Cry, or obviously Ghouls and Ghosts, you'll probably love these games. These games have got a lot of charm to them. Definitely worth playing through, especially this one. I'd probably even say start with this one first, just because it's easier. It'll probably get you into the game more than Maxima 1. But either way, whatever game you choose, really bloody good games, in my opinion. Definitely happy to have played for these. I also forgot to mention the final boss in this was really cool, because you're like fighting this like dragon thing in the dark, and you're like trying to figure out where this dragon is, because all you can see is its eyes in the dark. Really cool boss fight, you know. And you've got to like follow its eyes, or basically it'll come up from behind you and boom and attack you. So yeah, it was a really bloody cool fight. So I forgot to mention that. I was going to mention it, but totally forgot. And that'll probably be the end of games I've recently completed for like another month or something, probably. Maybe even longer. We'll see. So anyway guys, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, guys. Let me know what you've been playing recently. Have you completed any games recently? And you know, what do you think of said games? And yeah guys, I will catch you all in the next video. See you guys. Thanks for watching.